Morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We're on day 151 of that journey, and today's a two-pager called Your Sanctuary. Your sanctuary, your nest. It's very important, your nest. It's your surrounding. It's where your vessel lives in this other vessel for a while. So you want to make this nice around you, your surroundings nice, calm. Goes like this. So one or both of you had a challenging day, and you come home to your supposed safe sanctuary only to find that your ego still has a hold on your mind and your energy. We all know that feeling, don't we? This is always kindling for what can turn into a bonfire. Most often, we've engaged in or have been in close proximity to negative energy during our day. If we do not consciously attempt to shift our own energy higher before we go home, we carry this day with us like a backpack of garbage. It's the weight. We're carrying the weight of the day with us, aren't we? Overthinking the stuff that we should have done, didn't do right, all that stuff, or if we got it right sometimes, and then we just fell off the cliff on other times, and we're weighing it out at the end of the day. We're carrying it home, all that stuff. We got to learn to punch out. We got to learn to punch out of that wheel. That's the matrix. That's just like we're constantly grinding, constantly going, constantly thinking about it. And then when we get home, we have nothing good to give. Nothing good to give. When that's your safe place, that's your sanctuary, that's where you got to come home to and let it go. Let it go. Punch out before you get in that door. Learn on the way home to do that moving meditation, especially if you're stuck in traffic and you want to rip your hair out and everybody's driver in front of you's hair out. That's where you practice. That is the practice of the calm. That's a great time to practice, And you go, I don't think I can do it. I have to crank the radio up and get my mind on other things. It's like, yeah, you're just filling your mind with more noise. That's not the goal. More noise is not the goal. Less noise is the goal, so that you know where less noise is inside. You already have it in there. You already have that sanctuary in here. So you're not ranting and raving on your way home. Instead, you take that time to, hey, listen, that's a great time to even listen. If some silence, perfect. Some meditation music on there, boom, we got the phones. We can listen to anything. Listen to something that's going to bring you back to your center. Listen to something that's going to bring you back to yourself, so that when you get home, you're a beneficial presence. You're a beneficial presence, not only to the people that are around you, but you've already come in as a beneficial presence to yourself. And you're committed to that. You stay committed to that, right? Otherwise, you're just wielding around, and we're all wielding around our garbage without taking any consideration for what do we want the energy to be here? We want to take work home with us and just battle out the things that we did in our day, and my day was worse than yours. Listen to this. I guess. I don't know. That's just low energy stuff to me. It just is. It's just like we never really ever talk about anything below the surface with each other. Do we? No, that's scary stuff for a lot of people. Scary stuff. But that's where true relationships are bonded, in that good energy, in that lighthearted energy, the energy that we accept that's the true us, and say, oh man, I'm off my game today. My ego got me. Holy crap. I just got out of myself and I felt like I puked it up over everybody else. And, okay, great. You recognized it. Now you're taking account for it. That's the different story. That's what you got to do, is take account for it and say, hey, man, if I puked over people with my own negativity, I got to make up for that. I got to give them a call. I got to throw them a text. I got to say something, because I was out of my zone, my truthful zone of who I really am, right? So, because quite frankly, if you're just puking all over everybody all the time with your negativity, you're not going to have too many people to puke over in time, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, right? So true relationships come together and say, okay, you got issues and stuff like that. Yeah, true friends are there for that, but not for constant venting. Man, do that and process that on your own the best you can, so you're not carrying around venting as your identity. Oh, I'm a venter. I'm just going to keep venting the same story that pissed me off this morning. I'm going to go ahead and vent it all day. And when I don't know somebody has heard it, I'm going to say to them, and I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to keep passing on this crappy energy from this crappy thing that happened. No laughter in it. It's just, I want to tell you the garbage of somebody else. Now, be a carrier. Be a carrier of the light. Be a carrier of some chuckles. Something better. Right? So living in your light is going to bring more of that to you. And so your sanctuary when you go home, very important, because that's your recharge. That is your recharge station, is your home. It's got to be. It's got to be, or you'll never recharge. And you'll just be running on empty all the time. And then you're going to stay in your ego, because you're going to be, you're just going to think, well, this is me. This is the way I go through life. And, okay, great. But it isn't. It probably isn't. It certainly isn't all of you. That's for sure. There's more in there. You can be your own magician of your own energy when you realize what that truth of that is. And you want to bring that into your sanctuary. If we want to always have a safe, loving, peaceful, and positive sanctuary to come home to, we must first set the tone by our own consistent efforts to be in that higher energy. Well, the higher energy is just calm, cool, and collected. It's not like, I am high energy, everybody's got to do this. No, that's not high energy. High energy is knowing who you are. It's in that zone of the most creative, the most interesting, the most caring, the most kind you can be. And that's found in the center. That's in the heart space. That's found in the heart space. All right. So when we're ranting and raving on the highway about others, where are we? We're way out of that. And we've taken ourselves and we've antagonized ourselves with the story of that slow driver in that Subaru, the slowest drivers on the road. That's not entirely untrue. But I'm telling you, it is our job. We are our own job. It is our own duty to become that centered person, because then we have a much more peaceful, loving, kind life. It's just a better energy to ride and roll in. We talk about it every day, and we always say the same question. What do you want to be in? What do you want in this house? Yeah, we're going to have times where we fall off and people piss us off. That's going to be part of this human world for sure. But are we in charge of ourselves, or do we just let them piss us off with their energy when we can stay cool and calm and, and centered and just go, oh, that's their thing. That's their thing. Let them go if they want, but I don't have to be around it. And I certainly don't have to contribute to it. And if I can transmute it or throw some alchemy on it, I'll do that. But otherwise, I'd just rather be yucking it up with lighthearted stuff, right? So you see, when the dominant energy in your home is positive, and this intention is agreed upon by all, your home will always be a sanctuary. Well, the agreed upon thing. So you're leading the energy in your home, and that can change. Dominant energy in your home can change, because the light. If one of you is decided to take this inner journey, the other one's going to come along over time, because they just feel that much better. They may have grown up in a house dominated by a narcissist, by a mean, angry, vengeful type character, and stomping around and having everybody live on eggshells, the spouse, the kids, all of that, because they haven't yet found themselves. They haven't. They've just been operating on this system that was handed to them, that they've seen. And they've seen how some of this anger can control their world, because intimidation can make people do things. Fear can make people do things. But it is no energy to live in. And it is no energy to have as your sanctuary. That's what you want out of your sanctuary, is fear. You should never fear your spouse. You should never fear your partner. No, come on already. It's understandable if you're like, hey, I'm trying to keep on a budget and she's overspending. That's different. That's a conversation. But you get into, and all this other stuff, man, no. N-O, ego. That's it. And they just haven't learned. Now we have compassion for that, but that is no place to live. It is no place to live. And kindness certainly won't stay around, because I know that kindness can be, I can change that person. I can make them more kind. The kinder I am to them, they'll learn. They'll just take it upon themselves. Well, not always true. Not always true at all. They can see that as weakness, kindness as weakness, and that's just nasty stuff. That's just nasty stuff. That is not power at all. Kindness is the power. Kindness is the true power. See, this is an inverted world we live in. It's like the upside down world, bizarro world. Up is down and down is up. It's crazy like that. But we're changing it. We're aligning it by our alignment ourselves to what's most important, to what's truthful, not separating, not dominating, coming together. I'm bringing my love to the table. You bring your love to the table. And that's what we want as our baseline of understanding for this household. That's where we come back to. And if you're living in that, then your heart space is just open in that household. Even if the younger people in your household still have to grow to that, well, they're going to have that as an example. Okay. I'm not saying some of them aren't going to rebel and they're going to do their own thing, but you stay consistent. And once they find out, they go out into the world and they screw it up a million times, they want to come back home to what they felt as real and what was real, and that love was real. Because out in the world, you can find a lot of shiny things that look like diamonds, but they're dog shit. It's so true. It's so true. Not everything that shines is gold. So remember, if you start off with the understanding that you are already gold and that you already have everything you need, and it is just steps in the direction of your dream that you have to consistently follow with that good energy, with knowing that I'm going to start over again and again and again if I want to keep growing and rising, right? So in that journey takes a lot of not only willpower, but self-care, a lot of it, because the world itself just wants to fill you with all of this information, but not a lot of wisdom. We're definitely overstimulated, and that keeps people in fear. Overstimulation, and the ego is really just our overstimulated nervous system, is what it is. It's like when you're tired, and somebody's coming in and they wants a party and everything's going on, and you're like, I am going to kill you. I am not there. I am not there. Well, you're not there, right? So balance is the key. Balance is the key. And your home, your sanctuary is part of that key. Good things in that house, good energy in that house of yours. It's got to be. All the things that you love around you. Not a lot of clutter. You got to keep space. Make it spacious. No matter how small the place you live in, try and make it more spacious so you feel more spacious inside. When you clean up your place, you feel like 1,000 times better, because it feels like you're doing that inside. And your house is the same thing. Purge the old stuff out of that you're never going to use again, never going to see again. Don't care if you see it again. You haven't looked at it in a few years. Get rid of it, because that you open up that space in your sanctuary. That makes you not only feel more open, but lighter, because you've made your surroundings more lighter. Seems crazy, but it's true. It seems true. That's just another symbol of you becoming more light. It's simple, and we surround ourselves with those. Okay. Open the windows, shades, make sure the sun's coming in, make sure you're getting plenty of sun. And you look forward to coming back to that place at the end of the day. It's your, here I am. I can meditate. There's my spot that I meditate. There's that picture that I love when I want to look at something that's beautiful, whatever that is, and be intentional about it. Be intentional about it. It really matters. And it's one of those tools that you can add on your journey in self-growth. Okay. Plants grow where the light is. So you got to create that light in your home. Hey, you're a plant. You're a conscious plant that can walk around for a while. Okay. So in this place, everyone in the home feels good. And on a regular basis, higher energies will be the consistent vibration, including creativity, prosperity, kindness, compassion, and love in all its other beautiful forms and symbols. Certainly lots of laughter. That's what you seek, and that is what you want to infuse in your home. Put a lot of laughter in your home as much as possible, because that is medicine. It is absolutely divine, energetic medicine. Never leave it out. If you're down in the dumps, you're going through something, you're in a rut, make sure that you infuse laughter as a, natural medication. Okay. Funny videos, humor of all types, your favorite comedians. Every time that I've been through the shit and I've got to keep myself balanced, I have to go to that because I have to remember that even though it's dark right now, that light is going to come back and the light is still there. It's just behind this cloud that I got to learn something from. That's basically it. That's it. You go through these clouds and you're like, I don't want to learn anymore. I've learned enough. And yet you're going through it. So you got to bring that flashlight of truth with you. And that's one good way of keeping natural energetic medicine around you and in your house. Laughter, my favorite. Okay. Your family will become so used to the new dominant force that if there's a temporary storm of the ego, you will all want to get back to the good life as quickly as possible. And everyone will know what that is, right? Because that's the agreement. That's like the common undertone of the home. If you've got kids, it's like, we want this place to be a happy place, but we also want it to be, caring for each other and each other's needs. Okay. Always looking to be givers rather than takers in this family. Okay. And, it's certainly not always easy. Everybody's got different personalities, but if you have that as your tone and you're constantly the leader of that energy in your household, well, you're going to bear great fruit from that tree that you've created. Okay. Well, also, you sleep better, you love more, you forgive easier, apologize quicker, and create amazing and loving memories. To create a Shangri-La, that's what I call it, the Shangri-La, you must become intentional, present, and mindful of what you carry with you and what energy you're giving to each moment. This is always the practice of true power. Like I said, you're giving that energy, you're just mindful of the energy you're giving off. That's self-awareness in each movie clip of your day. Okay. And as you go, mindfulness just says, I'm the light. What would light do in this situation? And then you just learn to, because you already know what your ego is going to do. You've been living it your whole life. This is what I do here. Recognize it, examine it. Is that the best? Is that your best? Is it? That's what the space is created for. That's the space of consciousness. That's the space. That's the space between the notes of music that you give time. And it's important so that when you press that next piano key, it's a conscious decision. Okay. It's not the unconscious pom, 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 pom you used to do. It's a new tune that you've created it from yourself, from your heart. It's different. And it's a daily walk. So it's not like, okay, I got to poof, I'm a different person. It's in these small moments that are each teaching us. Each of these camera frames are teaching us something if we're aware. And we have the ability to give something to that moment. And these movies, clips put together, become that film of our entire life. And so when we're more purposeful and intentional about it, we just become beautiful creators in every area of our life that we want to intentionally put that creativity on. Okay. Don't forget, everybody says, I'm not creative at all. It's like, you're creating your life. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You got to be more of the artist of it. You got to consider yourself the artist of it. And that you have the paintbrush. You have the paintbrush to apologize, forgive. You have the paintbrush to have compassion. You have the paintbrush to move on. You have the paintbrush to let things go. All of those paint strokes create that world that you call your life. We all know we should try to be our best when we come home, but the ego makes it so easy to hold on to worthy excuses to why everyone else in our home must feel the wrath of your day. But is that what you really want? Is that what your calm higher self would say? The quicker you jump off the ego train during your day, the easier it will be to stay in your higher zone. It's all about letting go of letting go of what you no longer need. Do you need that anger? Yeah, I need it. And I need to tell everybody else about it. Do you really? Or is it just your old conditioning that's what your old self would do? You know, your old conditioned self, your old ego would do over time. I've seen people that were, when I knew them as younger, they were like, man, I did not want to go around them. Did not want to go around him. It was like when Mike Tyson, the boxer, was young. Man, he was nuts, right? He was just like, he was just all over the place. He was like a caged tiger. But now you see him, and he's mellowed out so much that he's in movies. He's smoking weed in movies, and I just chill. I'm just chill, and wants to be chill. And he goes, I don't like that old guy. I do not like that old guy I was. And you can let that go too. Because when you grow, you realize where you were then. You realize what your surroundings were and what you were going through. And man, I just didn't know myself then. That's okay. That's okay. That's what you're here to do, is bust out of that shit. All right. And move on, move upward. Stop wasting time. Stop wasting time. This is what we're given to do our thing. So look inside yourself and say, what in my light arsenal of light do I offer in each day? And am I consistent about it? Or am I consistently in the gossip circles tearing other people down? Or am I looking at the mirror and tearing myself down? Well, all of that, none of that is using God energy. That is the opposite of God energy. That is edging God out, the truth out of who you really are. That's edging the truth out. You're lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself, and you're trusting that liar inside, that lying voice. So I trusted that voice like it was me for a long time in my life. That's me. I'm scared. No, that's just fear. That's not me. That's a feeling. I don't have to embody that, because especially if I know that I already have everything it takes to move through whatever this thing is, and I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to show that voice that, once again, you're wrong. Once again, I overcame you. So now I know that it is not me. It's just a state of mind. It's just it's a temporary state of mind, and it's an illusion. It's a passing cloud that if I attach to that passing cloud of fear, well, then it's going to stop me. It's going to stop me or slow me down or be red tape, or it's going to help me to procrastinate and not get going on things that I know I need to do. It's all in that cloud of fear. It's all in there, all the crap that keeps us back and held down and not doing what we were sent here to do, not living out our purpose, and not being able to transform the self willingly rather than defiantly or having a lot of resistance to it. Oh, I'm not ready to face God. I'm not ready to face God. You're already it. You're already it. You're already facing it. You're just not looking at it to get rid of what isn't God. What isn't that in there? What doesn't need to be there, certainly anymore. We're the constant gardener. This is what we're here to garden. And our beautiful garden is going to help others garden more beautifully. So you know what to do today. You know what to do today. I don't have to tell you. Go out and spread that light of yours. I'm telling you anyway. We'll see you tomorrow. Much love.